Yeah, when I heard that you were going to be the Ailey dancer that was doing this interview, my heart just jumped because I've been like following you since your Danko days.
Oh my gosh, that's a
Yeah,
long time.
I mean, your Danko days, like watching videos of you doing pretty and
Oh man.
watching, where is this woman from? And
Oh
yeah, I used to dance for Dayton Contemporary Dance Company and
yes.
the dance ensemble, and
Awesome.
I've been watching you. I think one of my main things I remember seeing you was at IABD when it was in
Hmm.
a number of years ago. You had some videos
Yes.
there.
Yes.
You were marking on the side, and I was like, her marking. That was the dance. I mean, the dancers know what marking is, but marking is like when you're like just kind of going through the movement, and it's
Right.
her marking.
I have
It,
to take you with me wherever I go. You're good.
no, nah. So I'm just again, it just the fact that I have as a student of dance, have just been watching Ailey and being from Nashville, seeing Ailey in high school, and then knowing that there were people who looked like me and that were telling the stories that were important to me. Ailey coming to Nashville, I believe it's just a great thing for our community. That's why
Yes.
I have bought some friends with
Yes. Hi.
this this morning, or excuse me, rather this evening, because when I knew that there would be an opportunity to speak with an Ailey dancer, and then particularly you, of all people, I just knew that I did not want this to just be for me. I wanted for future generations of dancers to be able to, get a little bit of this knowledge that,
Right.
live in. So,
Thank you.
where you
Thank you so
calling
much. Thank
from?
you. We are in Orlando,
Okay.
and then we go to Atlanta, and then to Charlotte, and then I think then Nashville. I think that's right. Yeah. And we were in Memphis yesterday, and then North Carolina, where I'm from, Chapel Hill, and then we did Washington D.C. So we've done a lot already.
Wow.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
that you all will be in Nashville at TPAC on February 28th and 29th.
29.
That
Yes.
sound leap
Awesome.
day.
I know. We're gonna leap through the city. That's what we're gonna do.
Y'all leaving through this country.
And I think it's gonna be really wonderful too. You all coming? Do you know what night you're coming to the performance?
I am hoping to come on the Thursday, excuse me, on the Friday night show. It's more of a,
Friday night.
it has a number of
Right.
things in it. So I definitely want to see that.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know if you know what we're performing, but on Friday we're doing Ronald K. Brown's The Call, and then we're dancing Jessica Lange's In. Let me just check. Oh, Alvin Ailey's Cry and Revelation. So
So,
the women in the company, we have rehearsal all day. We came into the theater and we had a company class that started at 1:30, and then at 2:30 immediately the dancers start rehearsing, not necessarily for what we're performing tonight, but for what we're doing in the future. If there's something they haven't danced in a long time, if they need to rehearse, or the space might change, or some stages are usually larger. We don't really work on stages that are too much smaller than our normal, but sometimes we need a little extra time on stage. But we don't run a performance or do the whole performance before. We are rehearsing things for the future.
mm,
And so some of the ladies were rehearsing Cry. We were rehearsing what we're performing tonight, Busk. And Jamar Roberts is our newest resident choreographer, and
wow,
he was, yes. So he is. We never had a position like that before,
wow.
and he's rehearsing his ballet Ode, which I think maybe no, Ode isn't being performed in Nashville. So I think, yeah, so we're performing Cry, In by Jessica Lange, and Lazarus on the Saturday night, which is a hip hop piece. It's in two acts. So the most of the performance is Lazarus, and then we close with Revelation. So it's a full on weekend of kicks, splits, and pas de bourrées.
Nice.
If it was one thing you would tell the future generation, like of dancers, what was the hardest thing growing up to be a dancer?
The hardest thing for me was to understand how important eat, eating well has been, and the relationship with eating well and my health, getting proper rest, knowing that what I put in my mouth is what really feeds me, what allows me to dance for much longer. I have always been considered the muscular dancer, not as long looking, but that's been my lane. And I am pleased that I have been able to walk down that particular path so that other people who are built and shaped like me can see that there's room for them. However, I still needed to feed myself proper foods. I needed to make sure that I wasn't giving myself something that was going to take away from my performance, make me tired. You know, once they give you a costume, you have to always be able to wear that costume. So yes, we have to watch what we eat. We have to watch our weight. We have to be the best us we can be. But what I wish I had really known was that olives were good, that it's okay to try things that maybe weren't fried, you know? It really is. It really is. I mean, there are things that we must say no to so that we can say yes to what we love.
Yes. So do you mind giving advice on building confidence and I guess describing how you overcome your hard days?
Hmm. So advice and confidence is practicing it. You know, you have to put on, sometimes I say, a performance face. There are times when we need to tell ourselves that we are capable of doing what we have been given the opportunity to do. So you being chosen, or you being in the room, that's already your check mark, right? But it doesn't mean that you're not comparing yourself to the person you see standing beside you. That's what I feel like is the most torturous part of our craft, is that we see our competition next to us all the time. Whether we're on stage or in the studio, someone else has on the leotard we wanted to buy. You know, like there are just so many things that get in the way. But you have to be able to look in the mirror and know that you are absolutely, every part of you is fearfully and wonderfully made, and that you are enough. And once you realize that you're enough, then you can add the accessory. I always wear some kind of pearl or beaded earring. You add the accessory, you might add the necklace. I think, is that a necklace he has on, Micah? You have on a necklace? Is that, you add a little something to give you a little bit of flair, but that's not who you are. That's not what defines you. What defines you comes from the inside. And when you know that you're good, when you know you've done a good performance, you should stand in the mirror and say, that was good, friend. You know, and I'm proud of that work. And when you can start to be proud of your work, it doesn't mean that you're conceited. You're just you're encouraging yourself, because your teachers, your educators are there to remind you of what you haven't done. But it takes practice. Sometimes I go out on stage, I'm nervous. I had to perform after I lost my father, you know, but I had to turn the switch on. But I danced honestly. I gave it my all. I started telling some young kids, don't do the most, do your best. And so once you're doing your best, what the audience sees is absolutely the most, but it's perfect. It's exactly what it's been defined and realized to be. So it's going to take practice to be confident. Sometimes you won't feel it, but you still have to put that face on. Beat your face with confidence. That's a new hashtag. Beat your face with confidence. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so very much for, this time. And I know that, as you all get ready to come to Nashville and you all perform for us, you have been taught by some amazing people. I just know, from Joan Myers Brown to Tally Beatty to, some legends in Black dance. And so having that opportunity to be in that room with those people, what would you say was one lesson that you learned from that generation of dancers that you continue to teach and to exude as a performer and as an artist?
What's so interesting about this comment and is that I was just sharing with another friend what it was like to know these legends that are in history. You know, we're in Black History Month, so dancers are always posting about Black Dance History. And I'm like, oh yeah, I worked with them. Oh
Yeah.
yes, Pearl Primus. Oh right. And I remember Pearl Primus said to me once, directly to me,
Wow.
I just knew I was working the step. She said, Hope, my darling, you think you're doing it, but you're not. And I was devastated. I was like, wow, I really do think I'm doing it. But before we came out on this tour, we had a week-long intensive with Judith Jamison, and she was reminding us of what Mr. Ailey said about Revelations. She was going through the yellow section. She was going through all of these details. And her comment to me was, if you're not sure, go back to the step. And so to me, if I were to join those two comments, Pro Prima said, you think you're doing it, but you're not. So go back to the step. Go back to what it is originally, not what I've been putting on, not the extra that I might add to it because one night I'm feeling myself, so I'm going to go out and try to do the most. She's like, go back and find the origins. Remember what she said. Remember why Mr. Ailey made the work. So there's one, you know, like you said, Joe Myers Brown, Tally Beatty, Walter Nix, Donald McHale. I mean, I got to work with some amazing Fred Benjamin, Bernard Johnson, some amazing, amazing people. But knowing that Judith Jamison is still a living legend, and she's able to remind us what Mr. Ailey said about her work, about his work, is just phenomenal. It really is.
And we get to see it.
You get to see it, yes, in Nashville, 2 nights.
Yeah.
Yes, and you know, we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of Revelation. So if you can imagine a work, I mean, this whole year, but Revelations was first premiered on January 31st in 1960.
Wow.
So that is it's huge.
Yeah.
That you're going to see a work that I'm sure Mr. Ailey had no idea he was going to touch lives like you all.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I'm really happy, and happy to meet all of you guys.
Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this and behind-the-scenes access to your favorite shows.